Let's take a look at PFF, their breakdown of the 19th rated Arizona Cardinals, because as Bo said, what the hell? We'll just put him here. Here's the breakdown from our friends at PFF. Biggest strength, hey, it's how they run the football. Rushing offense, they tout James Conner. They tout the offensive line. Biggest weakness last year, the pass rush. Of course, we've talked about it ad nauseum. While Arizona's coverage unit improved from a putrid 2023, the pass rush couldn't do so. They had the second worst PFF grade in pass rush last season. The X factor, they're saying, for this year, Michael Wilson alongside Marvin, Trey, and McBride. If Wilson can break out in year 3, Arizona's offense could be a serious two-dimensional threat. And then the rookie to watch, of course, is Will Johnson. They likely never expected Johnson to fall to the second round, but sure glad he did. Meanwhile, Arizona's outside cornerback ranked 26th last year. If he's fully healthy, Johnson has a chance to make a serious impact as a rookie. Here's what I think about this. I think this is a lot of guessing. I think this is their stats from last year, and we're not going to take into account injuries. We're not going to take into account young players that play that can get better, like we talk about Max Melton or Darius Robinson or Marv or whomever. Like, I love Michael Wilson. He's a friend of the show since day one. Michael Wilson is not the X factor for this offense, okay? Marvin Harrison Jr. has to be the X factor for this offense in terms of the skill player. Now, Michael Wilson's great. It's a cherry on top. We expect him to be. It just, you see the ranking and then you see the write-up, and with all due respect, it comes across as very, as you put it, like kind of uneducated, guessing. To me, it's like these rankings right now, unless they're from like a Louis Riddick of the world, like I'm not really interested, because I don't know who wrote this article. It just comes off as Cardinals, we don't really understand your situation, so you're buried.
Yeah, we don't know Cardinals ball, right? We're very casual observers of the Cardinals. And like Mina Kimes told us that much. It's like she didn't know a whole lot of people that paid close attention to the Cardinals in the national media. And it shows. And it's showing in these lists where you see them, that they get high grades as far as their free agency. They get high grades as far as their draft. You look at how they finished last season. They were the highest point differential in the NFC West. They're a team that, analytically should have been 9-8, but everybody looks at them in the standings at 8-9 and where their, issues were. And there's more unknowns, and it's more like, hey, there's not this proven commodity. There's not this like data that proves us that this is going to be a big jump, where this is kind of those where you've got those guys going into their third season that are going to be big time impact makers that I don't think a lot of the group think are willing to go out on a limb and predict. They're mostly just going off of the data that they have. It's a bummer for Cardinals fans, because I don't think it kind of telegraphs the direction of the organization correctly. It's far off. Like, there's a blurb in there, as we've got it, where it says, like, at least it shows they were partially motivated in revamping the defensive front seven. Like, yeah, that's showing at least partially motivated the team to acquire a slew of defensive linemen for this offseason, including Eagle Josh Sweat. I mean, they threw every asset that they possibly could at this, from top free agent dollars that they haven't spent under Monty Ossenfort, a 4-year, $76.4 million deal on Josh Sweat. They brought back vets. They brought in guys over 30 years, Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell, and they utilized the 16th overall pick on the same position group. So I'd say they're partially motivated. Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it, or maybe putting it too lightly.
Or Bermuda fish big. Yeah, they're pretty big. I guess so, Dale. I guess the Cardinals. I guess the Cardinals have spent some money up front. For the people who are skeptical of Kyler Murray or Jonathan Gannon, the infrastructure, whatever, they won 8 games last year with the best point differential. Walk with me for a second, in the NFC West, right? They were 6-4 at the midpoint. Okay. They did not finish well, but they blew out bad teams. They beat some good teams, lost to some good teams, finished 8-9. They are unequivocally better on paper than last year. That can't be disputed. They didn't lose, save for an unsigned Kazir White, who does not have a job on June 2nd, a premium free agent. They have upgraded the worst defensive line, in my opinion, in the NFL. They have taken a wrecking ball to it. On top of all of that, they were one of the youngest teams in the NFL last season. So all those players are continuing the maturation process, and then this year they have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. They play the NFC and AFC South. How in the hell are they going to be worse than last year? Like, it's not going to be they're better. How much better? The question is, how much better are the Cardinals going to be? Are they 10 wins? Are they 12 wins? Are they 14 wins? Like, but the poor response is they're actually worse or they're about the same. There's no reality in which that happens, save for injury. That's not happening. They play dog meat divisions, and their roster is infinitely better, and they have players that are going to have a second and third year jump. It's just watch the NFL for 50 years. This is how it works.
The silver lining, I think, of this crappy list, obviously you take the data in the rankings with a grain of salt, but the Arizona Cardinals, you talk about the schedule, they play 9 teams in the second half of this rankings list. So like 32 teams from 16 down to 32. The Arizona Cardinals play 9 games of their 17 against teams in that tier. And only a few of those teams are ahead of them. And I think you could argue that the Cardinals have better rosters than the Falcons and then the Bengals. And then, they play the Cowboys that are just on the other side of that at 15, the Niners who are fraudulently at 14 that did have a really rock solid roster. Not any longer. Nobody paid attention to the mass exodus and the key injuries. I'd say like the first like legit team that they play is they play the Packers, who are 13th, and I think they might be underrated on this list. I think they should be higher. The Bucks, the Texans, and the Rams. Like the Rams, the Texans, and the Bucks and the Packers. Those are
they're middle of the
toughies.
Yeah, and we've seen Nick Rouse's defense matches up really well with Sean McVay, unlike Vance Joseph, and even like the Arians regime. Like Nick Rouse and Jonathan Gannon can slow down the Rams. Can Kyler Murray and the offense put up enough points? We saw that last year. I'm with you.
The 4 bottom teams. They don't play the Browns, who's the worst team on this list, but they play the Panthers, who are 29th, the Saints, who are 30th, and the Titans, who are 31st. And they play 2 of those teams that like 29 and 30th to start the season.
They also get the Colts, who are an atrocious team, and I don't know how the hell they're 20th. And they're playing Danny Dimes. They're playing the Jaguars, who are terrible, 25th with Duval, high school coach. They're playing a bunch of these teams that are not just bad; they're trending down. Like a lot of these teams, like the Colts and the Saints, like are trending toward like, hey, are they going to have a top 5 pick next year? Are they had a top 3 pick next year? Those are the teams the Cardinals are playing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold on you, PFF.